Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the federal government declared Wednesday, 1st of October 2025 as a public holiday to commemorate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. The Honorable Minister of Interior, Honorable Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, on this historic occasion. Dr. Tunji-Ojo enjoined citizens to continue to uphold the patriotic spirit, unity and resilience that have sustained the nation since independence in 1960. He urged Nigerians to further keep faith in the renewed agenda of President Bola Tinubu, which is anchored on national rebirth, economic transformation and collective prosperity. The minister expressed confidence that with the cooperation of all Nigerians, the country will continue to grow stronger in peace, progress and development. Also on Monday, Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government, warning the failure to address its long-standing demands could lead to a nationwide strike. In a statement released at the University of Abuja, the union's National Executive Council (NEC) decried what it described as the government's consistent neglect of the university system and the welfare of academics. ASU recalled that in August, its members across federal and state universities held rallies to draw attention of the worsening condition of public universities, but said no meaningful response had come from the government. The union listed its major demands to include renegotiation of 2009 ASU-FGN agreement, sustainable funding and revitalization of universities, payment of outstanding 25 to 35% salary arrears, resolution of promotion arrears of over 4 years, release of withheld third-party deductions, and an end to the victimization of members in LASU, Prince Abubakar Audi University, formerly KSU, and FUTO. On Tuesday, Justice Mohammed Garuba Umar of Federal High Court in Abuja shifted the arraignment of controversial activist Omoyele Sowore and 2 others on cybercrime charges on October 27. The arraignment, scheduled for September 30, could not hold due to inability of the federal government to serve the charge sheet on Sowore as stipulated by law. When the matter was called, Sowore, through his lead counsel Abubakar Marshall, protested that he had not seen a copy of the charge or be served as required by law. Similarly, he said that the second accused person had also not been served, and since the trial is on joint charge, the arraignment could not hold. Lead counsel to the federal government, Mohammed Babadoko Abubakar, who is the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, debunked the allegations of non-service of the charge and insisted that Sowore had been served. At this point, the trial judge, Mohammed Garuba, consulted with the case file and found that Sowore had not been served. Also on Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu received with deep sorrow the news of the tragic passing of Santochukwu Sami Maduagu, a brilliant news anchor with the Rise News Television, who was killed during an attack by robbers at the residence in Katampe, Abuja. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement said President Tinubu extended heartfelt condolences to the family of Ms. Maduagu, the management and staff of Arise Television, and the entire Nigerian media fraternity over this painful loss. Tinubu said Maduagu was a promising professional journalist whose life was cut short in a cruel and condemnable manner. While commiserating with the bereaved family, Tinubu assured Nigerians that his administration remains committed to ensuring safety and security of all citizens and will continue to strengthen measures aimed at combating crimes in all its forms. On Wednesday, President Tinubu said the worst is over as the present administration begins to consolidate on its reforms. The president said this in a nationwide broadcast to commemorate the occasion of the 65th anniversary of the country. According to him, the pains of yesterday are giving way to relief, stressing that much had been achieved in various sectors of the nation's economy. The president listed some of the feats achieved by the present administration in the economy, security and health sectors. He said the present administration is working diligently to enhance national security and ensuring that the country's economy experiences improved growth and performance. In the area of security, President Tinubu commended security agencies for working tirelessly and making significant sacrifices to keep the country safe. Still on Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu condoled with the government and people of Kogi State on the sad incident of a boat accident in Ibaji local government, which occurred on Tuesday, leading to loss of lives. According to reports, the victims of the tragedy were traders traveling from Ibaji local government area of Kogi State to Lushi Market in Edo State. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement said Tinubu expressed his profound sorrow at the unfortunate incident, describing it as shocking and unfortunate, especially as the victims were embarking on their legitimate quest to make a decent living. Onanuga said the President commends the first responders at the accident scene and urges federal, state and local emergency responders to step up their effort to provide needed assistance to survivors and victims. On Thursday, Vice President Kashim Shettima returned to Abuja after a highly successful diplomatic mission representing President Bola Tinubu at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York and concluding strategic engagements in Germany. During the week-long international engagement, the Vice President delivered President Tinubu's national statement calling for comprehensive UN reforms, championed African sovereignty over its $700 billion mineral resources, and strengthened strategic partnership with the United Kingdom's Gates Foundation and other international stakeholders. Later, VP Shettima met with the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres and secured his commendation for Nigeria's bid for a permanent Security Council seat, and in another engagement, he showcased the country's $200 billion energy transition opportunity to global investors. Still on Thursday, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja dismissed a suit instituted against President Bola Tinubu challenging the March 18, 2025 proclamation of state of emergency in Rivers State, delivering judgment in a suit filed by Belema Briggs and 4 others against the emergency rule. Justice Omotosho held that the 5 plaintiffs lacked the legal power to institute the case. The judge said that such case as constituted can only be determined by the Supreme Court only. In the judgment, the court held that none of the 5 plaintiffs claimed to be members of the State Executive Committee, members of House of Assembly, or suffered any injury greater than the rest of the people of Rivers State. Justice Omotosho said the case was frivolous and baseless because the mandate of all the people of Rivers was not obtained before instituting it on their behalf. On Friday, the federal government ordered contractors handling the expansion of Abuja-Kefi Expressway to commence not construction to ease the daily gridlock faced by thousands of commuters on the critical route into the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of State for Works, Bello Goronyo, who gave the directive during an inspection of the project, emphasized that the measure became necessary as motorists endure worsening congestion, especially around the Nyanya-Mararaba axis. He reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to completing the ongoing Abuja-Kefi Road rehabilitation project within the stipulated deadline of December 2026. Goronyo explained that while significant progress had been recorded on the Kefi-bound section, a 3-kilometer stretch of the Abuja-bound carriageway remained a major challenge due to flooding and waterlogging. Lastly, on Friday, health sector unions in Kaduna State have commended the Kaduna State government led by Governor Bausani for the payment of consolidated medical salary structure and consolidated health salary structure in the state. At the joint press conference, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA), Association of Resident Doctors (ARD), National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives (NANNM), the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria (MHWUN), Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists (AMLSN), and the Joint Health Sector Union (JOESO) thanked the governor for approving the 100% implementation of the revised 2024 CANMES and CANES worth over 518 million naira monthly and 6.2 billion naira annually. They said the move ended more than a decade of stagnation in health workers' pay and restored dignity for medical personnel. And that's it on Tracking the Week.